General Kex Thalar's mandibles clicked with amusement as he observed the human delegation entering the grand arena on Corvex Prime. The annual Galactic combat trials were meant to demonstrate the military prowess of member species, allowing newer civilizations to earn respect through displays of tactical superiority and warrior skill. The humans had been invited more as a courtesy than from any genuine expectation of competence. "Look at them," chuckled Colonel Vex 9 of the Altarian Defense Corps, his crystalline form shimmering with mirth. "They're so small, fragile. No natural armor, no biomechanical enhancements, no psionic abilities. What could they possibly offer?" The arena floor stretched for nearly a kilometer in diameter, surrounded by observation platforms filled with the galaxy's elite military commanders. Representatives from 47 species had gathered to witness demonstrations of combat doctrine, with the victors earning preferential status in the Galactic Defense Alliance. Ambassador Sarah Chen led the small human contingent with practiced dignity, ignoring the condescending stares and whispered comments from alien observers. Behind her walked a figure that drew particular attention, a slight human male who appeared to be wearing simple black clothing rather than any recognizable combat gear. "That's their champion." General Kex Thalar examined the human through his optical enhancers. "He's not even carrying weapons. Where's his power armor? His energy shields?" Dr. Marcus Webb, the human delegation's military attaché, had heard these questions repeatedly over the past 3 days. General, different species develop different approaches to combat. "We'd like to demonstrate one of our traditional martial disciplines." "Traditional?" Colonel Vex 9's translator struggled with the concept. "You mean primitive, pre-technological combat methods that your species abandoned when you achieved spaceflight." The human in black clothing, Takeshi Yamamoto, bowed respectfully to the assembled observers before taking his position in the center of the arena. He carried no visible weapons, wore no armor, and appeared to be meditating rather than preparing for combat. "Begin the demonstration," announced Arena Master Thex Prime, his voice booming across the vast space. The trial format was standard. The challenger would face a series of automated combat scenarios designed to test tactical thinking, reflexes, and battlefield adaptability. Most species deployed heavy weapons, energy shields, or exotic abilities that reflected their particular evolutionary advantages. The first scenario activated a squad of combat drones armed with plasma rifles materialized around Takeshi, their targeting systems immediately locking onto the stationary human figure. "This is almost cruel," muttered General Kex Thalar. "He's not even moving." The drones opened fire simultaneously, 12 streams of superheated plasma converging on Takeshi's position. But when the energy discharge cleared, the human was no longer there. Where Colonel Vex 9 began, but his question was answered as the combat drones began falling apart. Each one had been disabled by precise strikes to critical junction points, their systems failing in sequence. Takeshi reappeared in the center of the group, having moved so quickly that the arena's sensors had barely tracked his motion. "Impossible," whispered Dr. Nex Corral, the galaxy's leading expert on combat biomechanics. Those drones were equipped with quantum state targeting. Nothing biological should be able to move faster than their lock-on systems. The second scenario materialized a heavily armored Krolex warrior, the same species that had conquered dozens of worlds through sheer physical dominance. The 8-foot-tall creature charged Takeshi with a vibroblade that could cut through starship hull plating. Takeshi waited until the last possible moment, then simply stepped aside. The Krolex warrior's momentum carried him past the human, who touched him briefly on the shoulder. The massive alien collapsed instantly, paralyzed by a pressure point technique that shut down his nervous system without causing permanent damage. The arena fell silent. "How?" General Kex Thalar demanded. Krolek's physiology is completely different from human biology. Their nerve clusters are distributed throughout their exoskeleton. No humanoid should know how to. "We study our opponents," Ambassador Chen replied calmly. "For centuries, we've developed methods of combat that rely on understanding rather than overpowering." The third scenario activated the arena's most challenging program, a group of phantom warriors, energy beings that phase between dimensions to avoid conventional attacks. Most species considered them impossible to defeat in single combat. Takshi closed his eyes and became perfectly still. The phantom warriors circled him, their forms flickering between visible and ethereal states. To the observers, it appeared that the human had given up, resigned to inevitable defeat. Then Takshi moved. His actions defied every principle of combat the galactic observers understood. Instead of trying to track the phasing enemies, he seemed to predict their movements, striking at empty air that suddenly contained solid targets. Each movement was economical, precise, flowing from one technique to another as if following a choreographed dance. Within minutes, all 5 phantom warriors had been neutralized through a combination of thrown projectiles, simple metal objects, that Takshi had somehow made more effective than advanced energy weapons and hand-to-hand techniques that exploited the brief moments when the entities had to solidify to attack. "This is not possible," Dr. Nex Corral's voice carried a note of genuine fear. "He's fighting using principles that our combat simulations don't account for. Patience, timing, the use of an opponent's strength against them. These concepts don't exist in military doctrine." Arena Master Thex Prime activated the final scenario, a test that no species had ever completed successfully. It required the combatant to infiltrate a fortified position, disable multiple security systems, and eliminate 6 guards without triggering any alarms. Most participants attempted this challenge through technological superiority, advanced stealth systems, hacking devices, or overwhelming firepower. All had failed because the scenario was designed to be impossible through conventional military means. Takshi approached it differently. He became a shadow, moving through the simulated fortress with a fluidity that seemed to bend the laws of physics. Security cameras somehow failed to register his presence. Motion sensors detected nothing. He appeared to blend with darkness itself, becoming invisible not through technology, but through pure skill. When the guards began falling unconscious one by one, the observers realized they were witnessing something that had no parallel in their military experience. The human had achieved perfect infiltration, not through superior technology, but through techniques that were older than galactic civilization itself. "What is he?" whispered Colonel Vex 9. "A ninja," Ambassador Chen replied. "One of our traditional shadow warriors. They developed their skills during an era when our species had no advanced technology, when survival depended on understanding human limitations and transcending them through discipline, study, and absolute mastery of mind and body." General Kex Thalar stared at the arena floor, where Takshi stood calmly among the deactivated security systems and unconscious guards. "Your species developed warriors capable of this level of effectiveness without any technological enhancement," General Dr. Webb said quietly. "What you've witnessed represents approximately 800 years of refined technique, passed down through generations of practitioners. This is what humans achieved when we had nothing but determination and the willingness to perfect our craft." The arena fell silent as the implications sank in. If humans could develop such capabilities using only biological potential and training, what might they achieve when those ancient disciplines were combined with modern technology? "I believe," Ambassador Chen announced to the stunned assembly, "we've earned our place in the Galactic Defense Alliance." No one present was inclined to disagree.